land of the United States. It is called the Prairie State because 90% of the land is made out of prairies. If you notice the topography of Illinois, it is nothing like California. California would be all mountainous, but Illinois is almost all the way flat, except for one, not even mountain, hill in the northwest. The population of Illinois is about 12 million people, who mostly live in the great city of Chicago. The slogan is Land of Lincoln because Lincoln lived there in his later teen years. In 1818, Illinois became a state. The state flower is the violet, and the state bird is a cardinal because it visits Illinois so often. The word Illinois means tribe of superior men in Algonquin. The first Indians were the Illinois, who were nomads and hunters and followed the animals they needed to find food and shelter. Later, a federation of Indians called the Illini came. There is even a sports team called the Illini at the University of Illinois. In 1650, the Iroquois conquered the Illini with the advantage of guns from the Dutch and the French. The first Europeans to go to Illinois were Louis Jolliet and Jacques Marquette. They were there to explore Mississippi. After the French took over Illinois, they added O and S to the Illini name, giving us Illinois. But Illinois didn't always belong to the French. In 1754, the French and Indian War was fought. That war was the French and the Indians fighting against the British. The British won. After that, the British colonies started to send settlers into Illinois. The current border tells the story of this war. To the west is the mighty Mississippi River. To the east is the Ohio and the Wabash River. After that, it shoots upstream. The reason that it doesn't follow the Ohio or the Wabash River all the way was because that would make Indiana too small and Illinois too big. The north boundary is further north than Ohio or Indiana. This is because Illinois wanted to have access to the tributaries which were more north. After the Revolutionary War, more settlers came. There is the Indian Black Hawk who fought the Black Hawk War, which was where he fought for the land that his ancestors had claimed, but he lost. The Reverend Elijah Lovejoy was a newspaper editor who was an abolitionist. An abolitionist is somebody who does not believe in slavery and thinks it is wrong. Angry mobs kept attacking his printing press because they thought slavery was right. Later he was killed trying to protect his printing press once again. Johnny Appleseed also came to Illinois. There he planted many beautiful orchards. Abraham Lincoln wasn't born in Illinois, but came to Illinois in his early teens. He was in the State Assembly of Illinois in 1832 and later became the 16th president. Throughout history and today, there have been other famous people. Al Capone, a famous gangsta, was arrested not for his stealing and murder, but for not paying his taxes. Later, he was brought to Alcatraz. Frank Lloyd Wright was an architect. He built houses, and one house, which is especially beautiful, is right about there on the banks of Lake Michigan. Oprah Winfrey is a famous TV talk show star, and she also owns a magazine called O. Barack Obama also lives in Illinois and is our present president today. Chicago is called by the Indians the land of the smelly onions. But other people tend to call it the Windy City, not because the wind blows too much, but because the politicians talk too much. It is the third largest city in America after New York and Atlanta. In 1871, there is a legend that Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicked over a lantern and started the Great Chicago Fire. After the fire had burned out, $200 million of damage was done, 300 people died, and 100,000 were left homeless. The only building in Chicago to survive the fire was the water tower. It survived because it was made out of brick. After that, many people in Chicago made their houses out of bricks because they didn't want it to burn down. Illinois has different sports teams. In baseball, they have the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox. In football, they have the Bears. In hockey, they have the Blackhawks, which is named after Black Hawk. And in basketball, they have the Chicago Bulls. Carl Sandburg wrote a poem about Chicago. Here is part of it. Hog butcher for the world, tool maker, stacker, player with railroads and the nation's freight handler, stormy, husky, brawling, city of the big shoulders. Illinois is flat, which is usually the reason for how many tornadoes and hurricanes they have. It is husky because it is a big state with lots and lots of wheat. It is home to my family and is second home to me. Illinois reminds me of wheat, so I brought wheat. Well, kind of wheat. Yes. Any questions? Any questions?
Tornadoes normally happen on flat grounds because they keep happening in the mountains.
Well, they happen on flat grounds because the mountains block the wind. So
the especially beautiful house Frank was right. Was that the Rosie house?
I think so.
Well, do you know why Illinois is always so flat?
I'm pretty. Well, some people say it's because an enormous glacier used to be on Illinois, but nobody really knows. Any more questions?
Is there a tornado season?
I don't think so.
Because I'm going there tomorrow.
You are?
I am.
Are you going to be here next week?
I will be. I'm only going for a couple of days. So I'm very anxious to hear you.
Yes.
Do you go to your grandparents' house like once a year? Or
Yes, every year. And every other year we go to their house for Christmas.
Oh yeah, you did that this Christmas.
Any more questions?
Yay!